Don't worry, guys. Non-alcoholic. Arizona green tea. Great. Great for the soul. I'll show us some cards today. Why not? I've been trying to complete this set for a while now. I am in the limits of completing it relatively soon. But it's one of my goals of this year is the Munch set. I have, obviously, Mimikyu, Eevee, Psyduck, and Pikachu. This was my goal for this year. I just need the Rowlet. It is one of the easiest ones to get, and once I get that, I am definitely going to probably put him in a picture frame and hang him up somewhere. I only graded, I bought the Mimikyu, already graded, PSA 10. I bought the Psyduck, graded at 10, and I bought the Eevee, graded at 10 already. Jeez, Claire. The only one I did grade was actually, I have two Pikachus, and I graded them both. The other one that I have was the CGC 9.5 that I cracked and got a 10, thankfully. And I have the video on that, actually, a little bit further back. And then this Pikachu I actually bought from Japan. I bought at a PSA 9 at the time. PSA 9 price, I think, was $1,200, something like that. Raw card. But I knew it was going to be quality. Got it in, graded it 10. So I saved a little bit of money on that end, but that is one of my collection goals of this year. So I just wanted to share you guys just some cards, some good old cards that I have before. Love this. Here, let me do a little close-up shot. Love this Pikachu. Ooh, can I get it? Can I get it? There we go. There's a close-up shot. Love this Pikachu. I guess I could do it for all of them. This Psyduck. This is from, not Koki Saito. It is Komiya. Love Komiya's artwork. Then, who did the others? This is Nishida did the Eevee. These are going to look awesome right next to each other. And Hasuno. I say it in my Japanese accent. Oh, there you go. There's a sweet spot. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. For those who don't know, I'll just do the rundown. Again, rambling. People like my rambling, I guess. Whatever. But anyway, so if you look on the top, wrong side. If you look right here, there's Pikachu in the background. This kind of foreshadows every single Pokemon. So in the Pikachu, who's that right there? Eevee. Who's that right there? Psyduck. And in the Psyduck, we actually have we have a total of 3 Pokemon. I don't know if you can see them, but we got obviously Rowlet right here, and then we have Haunter, and then down here, if you see him, we got the little Goblin, the little there we go, the little Goblin down there, right there, with the emerald eyes. He does not have a Munch card, but or neither does Haunter. But very interesting they included those other 2 Pokemon. Let me just here, you see me fuzzy. But very interesting they included those 2 Pokemon in it without them having Munch cards. But really cool set. I got them all PSA 10. The Psyduck is the hardest to grade, and the Mimikyu is the hardest to get. But the Rowlet is the easiest, so I won't have any problem. It's just pulling the trigger here, there, whenever. So when I do, I'll probably have a frame picked out for it. And I'll hang it up, and I think that set will look phenomenal together. Yeah, I want to do more of those showcases, more of the cards that really. I really enjoy being part of the hobby because of the artwork, because of the collectability, because of the rarity of a lot of cards. And you know, I have these cards here all the time, looking through them, opening them up, and I want to share them with you guys because I know a lot of you guys may not dabble in the Japanese, and may, for the passerby, I know there's a lot of people that watch this channel that's all they focus on, and that's kind of all what I focus on, and we're just so familiar with all these arts. But I know a lot of people who watch this channel aren't so familiar, so I'd like to showcase more and more at the beginning of my videos, just a little introduction, as well as something that you may not have heard before. Like Kanazawa, Yokohama Pikachu, Kanazawa Pikachu, Shibuya Pikachu, all those types of cards. They're just phenomenal artwork. Does not have an English release, does not have a Chinese release, does not have any other release except Japanese. So I'll do that more and more in the future. But I know you guys aren't here for me just to show off my collection and everything. Today I wanted to talk about what I guess it happened recently, a realization of where the market's at and this oversaturation of sellers in the market, and what has this created in that sense. And too long didn't watch. It has created a great opportunity for buyers and collectors like myself. Like I was recently looking through my Middleman, or looking through my consolidation service in Japan, that it just makes it kind of utterly useless, especially in the realm of booster boxes and sealed product, because there's so many other people that are actually doing the legwork for you and not charging you for it. But before we get into it, my name is Slade. I am the sole operator as well as owner of Grade Level Collectibles. I run an eBay page, as well as I buy collections and grade cards, and that's how I fuel my own collection goals and everything, and I help people fulfill their collection goals. But my main thing for this channel especially is not to sell you anything, but to educate you, educate the masses on the market, what's going on today, as well as all the phenomenal artwork and exclusive releases and cards that I've acquired over the years, as well as how to do that as a newer collector and as a seasoned collector. I know there's a lot more people that are a lot more knowledgeable in the areas that I pertain in, but I am able to make these videos, and I'm able to pull from my personal experiences and my personal faults as well as successes, and I'm thankfully here to educate you guys on that, as well as share my stories on how I have become successful in selling cards, as well as building my own collection over these many years. So without further ado, let's get into the topic for today. So you saw the title. It does not make any sense nowadays to buy sealed product from Japan through a middleman service. It is not feasible whatsoever, and I will get into those points here in a second. That's kind of like the too long didn't watch synopsis. But how this all came to be and how I came up with this realization, I had a buddy who reached out to me like, hey, I need X amount of V-Star Universe, X amount of Shiny Treasure EX. And so I put on my little buying middleman hat, and I went on my sources, went on Mercari Japan, went on Yahoo Japan, scavenged the internet. What's the lowest price? What's not so much the lowest price, because those are kind of like scammy territory, but what's the market price and a little bit above? What is that number? And how, my guy who is buying through me, I need to quote him a price, and having a little bit of margin for myself to make it worth my time. And I sat down here and for about probably 3 hours, 2 hours, something like that, just scavenging everything I can on what he wanted. Again, he wanted V-Star Universe as well as Shiny Treasure EX. And what I found, I did all the math, and it just, at the end of the day, it just does not make sense to buy from a packaging service in Japan and ship it to the United States. To just as a collector, as well as obviously as a middleman. It just does not make sense, because there's so many other people that again have already done the legwork that are available to buy from, and you're not spending the $30, $50, $60 to ship it from Japan to the United States, because it's already been done, and it's here in the United States, and they're selling it at Japanese prices. So I whipped out, do the math and everything, I whipped out my legal pad. I love this thing. I love giant legal pads. I have room to write down all my thoughts or write down numbers, and I don't have to put it inside of a small legal pad. So I got a big giant one. I wrote it all out. So the lowest price I could find, as in bulk wise, for V-Star Universe was about 81. No, transfer from yen to USD, about $81, give or take. You can save a little bit more. I saw them a little bit lower, maybe at the realm of 75. Maybe a little bit. The lowest I think I've ever saw it was like 72, 73. But that's if you're buying like 40, 50 boxes. Usually when I'm buying these booster boxes to make it worth it, especially in Japan, and especially like a couple years ago, which was phenomenal time, it was like $42 a box to buy there, where in the United States it was like $75 all day type of deal. I would buy in bulk. So I bought bulk orders of 100. I bought bulk orders of 50. I bought all around, as well as just solid boxes. So I bought 20 cases. They're called cases that have 20 boxes in them. Depending on the release, they could have 12, 16, or they could have 20. But this, the person that I was buying it for, he only wanted 5 of V-Star and 5 of Shiny Star V. Not Shiny Star V, Shiny Treasure EX. And so, again, I was scavenging the internet, and I came out to like the best case scenario. But if I bought 20 of V-Star Universe, 20 of Shining Treasure ZX, and what that price per came out to be. And again, the average price I was getting was, actually, I made a mistake. So the price average was around $79.03 per average of the V-Star Universe, and I got about $53.82 average of per booster box of Shining Treasure EX. And again, I wanted 5 each, and those were the prices for each of them. And I chose shipping for 10 boxes. It really depends on the bulk, but at the end of the day, it's around the area of, could be $30, could be $60. So I just took the bigger portion of it, $60, and I added it all up. And so 5 boxes of Shiny Treasure EX, 5 boxes of V-Star Universe, as well as $60, come out to $724.25 of the average. Now this is kind of best case scenario. You're also tackling a bunch of the risks. So you may be saving a little bit of money here or there, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you get in a box of rocks, or you get in a box of milk or juice. All that's a fast go. You're dealing with people from Mercari, which the market price could be a little bit too low, and you don't even know about it. It's like all the other people, and the too low prices are usually like too good to be true kind of prices, and you end up getting a resealed box. A resealed, like they weigh every single pack, and the heaviest pack they put at the side, and they put a bunch of light packs in the box so you don't get your guaranteed secret rare, and they reshrink it, or they put nothing in it and they put rocks in it and weigh it exactly how it's supposed to be weighed. Or even worse would be the rocks. The one step above would be juice. You'd just be buying, $60 worth of juice just in a little box. It's an expensive juice box, I'll tell you what. But anyway, so that was the price. So $724.25. I then went on my local Facebook group, and everyone and the mother nowadays, it feels like when VMAX Climax came out. That's when kind of stuff started tilting. Kind of like Japanese sellers in America would start, not just Japanese sellers, but people in America who had Japanese connections, they were starting to upload pictures to these Facebook groups of their shelf filled with, at the time, VMAX Climax, filled with all these Japanese booster boxes, and they were, in a sense, a middleman to Japan. That's pretty much what it was. But their prices weren't, they were still kind of eBay prices. And they were much different than in Japan. And they're still up higher as well, even in this day and age. But I'll get into the numbers here in a second. So the best prices that I could find, I found 2 sellers, and I kind of pinged them back before each other. But they were selling through Goods and Services, PayPal, so you have a guarantee. Like if something's wrong, you can file a claim. One person was selling $81 V-Star Universe and $59 Shiny Treasure ZX. The other person was selling $83 V-Star Universe, and the other person was selling $57 Shiny Treasure ZX. So one was higher on a V-Star Universe, one was higher, and the other one was higher on Shiny Star V. At the end of the day, Shiny Star V, why I keep saying that? Shiny Treasure ZX. At the end of the day, they kind of balanced each other out, but one was selling at Goods and Services, and one was selling, you have to add on the Goods and Services. So I went with the guy who was selling it at Goods and Services. I bought it, like I said, $83 and $57. Times it all out, that comes out to $415 for the V-Star Universe and $285 for the Shiny Treasure GX. And he quoted me $15 of shipping. And get this, comes out to $715 compared to $724.25. Now, given, obviously, you have $60 worth of shipping. It could be $50, $40, whatever. But you're at this point, even if it was $50, even if it was $40, it would still be $710 versus $715. You're at a point where now you are negating the risk of getting juice, of getting rocks, of getting something tampered with in Japan, and you are not paying the enormous amount of cost of shipping in Japan, and it's at your front doorstep. Literally, all these, I wouldn't call them resellers. I mean, they are resellers, but I wouldn't call them like flipper dippers or whatever, but you're having these middlemen that are doing all the legwork for you, and they're bringing the product over to the United States. They have the best prices mostly available to you. Now, give and take a little bit in Japan, a little bit in America. They are pretty much the best prices. Not even comparing to eBay, but comparing it to they themselves, what they can get it for, and their margins. They have it in hand. And these people, you can find feedback pages on Facebook. How people usually, I know a lot of maybe some of my viewers, they don't deal with Facebook sellers or whatever because they scam me or whatever. But there are sellers out there that a majority, all my sales that I do through Facebook, I ask, hey, do you have a reference page? What this reference page is, it's a Facebook group specifically for references pages, meaning that if you've done any business with this person, you would go on the reference page and you write a review like, hey, this person, I bought $200 worth of items from them, and they were awesome. They shipped it right away, boom, bada bing, and they upload it, pretty much. And so you can see this person's feedback over long. Think of just like an eBay feedback or whatever. And so I can see like, hey, I'm not only Goods and Services, 100% awesome, but also there's this feedback of like, hey, they've done business with 20 other people. They were all really good. So pretty much the risk is negated. That you are, I would say 95%, you're not getting scammy sellers, you're not getting juice in your boxes, you're not getting rocks, you are getting a genuine product from a genuine seller, and you're getting it for pretty much at price in Japan. And it doesn't take you a week to get it, it'll probably arrive in 3 days, 3 or 4 days. And sometimes... If you're buying from Buyee, you're getting it way better packaged in the United States versus Buyee, depending on the seller, obviously. But more than likely, all the sellers that I have dealt with, their packaging is phenomenal. Versus Buyee puts it in a cardboard bag thing and just ships it. I've had raw cards just show up indented because they didn't bother putting in any type of protection or whatever. Some FedEx person stomped on it or whatever. It's just garbage. I would not suggest Buyee. I would suggest them in some aspects because they have the 20% off or they have the whatever, but in general, I would not suggest Buyee. I would suggest like From Japan or Tenso. Usually those are a lot better packaging service, but Buyee is discounted out the wazoo a lot of times, and there's a reason for that. But regardless, This is what I came to the realization, that you are getting about the same price as if you bought it from Japan, but you're getting it already in the United States, better packaged, quicker to you, as well as you are negating the fact that you are going to be scammed. That is huge. That is huge for people that deal with this a lot, that maybe only can afford 2 booster boxes, and you want to make sure I'm going to get a genuine booster box and not just waste my money, because people don't realize that if you buy something from Japan, or Bai or whatever, if you get scammed, they're like, oh, we're a middleman service. We can't do anything about it. I've seen so many countless stories of people opening 40 boxes or buying 40 boxes, 20 boxes. There's one on YouTube. There's a couple on YouTube. I think it's called Family Pokemon or something. He literally bought 20 or 40 boxes of, I think at the time, V-Star Universe. And they were all like rocks, or they were all repackaged and everything. And there's no course of action. I guess the only course of action is to, if you bought it on a credit card, to call a credit card company like, hey, you know, I got scammed, cancel this, whatever. I don't have the time and day to deal with that. That is a whole mess, because then you have to buy a new credit card. You possibly, you know, they could come after you like, hey, you know, we can't cancel this depending on your credit card or whatever. But at the end of the day, it is so much better value proposition to buy from a Facebook seller, or even Instagram. I know there's a bunch of Instagram sellers online that just have tons and tons of this V-Star Universe, you know, Shiny Charizard GX, whatever. But the price difference between saving $20, $30, like in totality, like maybe a price difference of $5, $6 for a booster box in Japan versus in the United States, it's not worth it. It really is not worth it. The only thing I would suggest, even with this, I mean, okay, the only way you can find mint ungraded cards that could grade and get a premium is in the United States, if someone finds it in the attic or whatever, but I'm talking about like Japanese cards. Usually if you're buying from America, like, people have already assessed it. They know it's damaged, or they know there's something wrong with it. Won't get a 10, won't get a 9, or maybe we'll get a 9, guarantee 9, whatever, depending on the card. They're gonna sell it to you, and if it is going to get a high grade or whatever, they're gonna grade it themselves. The only way to find those types of things is in Japan nowadays. But again, if I've gotten so many cards that say, oh, it's fantastic looking, whatever, and I get it in and there's a giant dent in the card, there's no, I can't submit like, oh, I want my money back in eBay. I just can't. There's that inherent risk, and that inherent risk is so much greater today than it was like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, when I was buying from this all the time, because I would just buy stuff, and I'd get it in, and like, oh, it's mint, oh, it's mint, oh, it's mint. Versus everyone in Japan, they're a lot more meticulous nowadays, as well as a lot more heavy-handed they want to just sell it raw. A lot of Japanese people are turning to PSA to grade it and to sell it at a higher premium. Now, that in of itself is actually somewhat of a good thing, I would say, because you now have a third party and you're grading it, and now you can, sometimes, funny enough, you can buy them cheaper in Japan in a PSA 10, or, oh my gosh, heaven forbid, a PSA 9. PSA 9s are so much cheaper in Japan because nobody wants them. Really, they do not. And then, you know, buying a whole bunch of PSA 10s, PSA 9s in Japan, and then shipping over to the United States, that is a value proposition that I am that's becoming more and more enticing to me, personally. I've been looking at some cards that, like, nobody's selling it at the prices that Japan's selling it, Fire's selling it for, because it's so much more abundant over there than it is in the United States. So if you're buying PSA 10s or whatever, you still got to be wary of, obviously, fake PSA 10s and everything. But if you're buying it pretty much at market value or a little bit below, you know, again, do your own due diligence, do your own research. It's a way more value proposition in Japan. So that's what I found out of realization, that sealed, especially sealed, obviously, sealed booster boxes in Japan from the newest sets, V-Star Universe, Shiny Charizard GX, all the other, even Shiny Star V, and all, I mean, the Japanese sellers, or people who are just bought in bulk and just trying to sell it as fast as they can, it is so much better a value proposition buying it in the United States. Because if there's anything wrong with it, you have a course of action. If you do it through Middleman, you do not have a course of action. So I would not suggest anybody to buy. I'm ceasing buying sealed booster boxes from Japan. I really am. I just bought 10 of them from this local guy, and I probably will continue to buy, some more Shiny Star V-Star Universe from this person to build up my V-Star Universe collection. Or bulk. Not really collection, it's just the accumulation. But I will start to look more and more in depth PSA 10 prices in Japan, because you're now at a price that the market's cooled down really a lot, and people are just like trying to sell as much as they can. So that's what I would suggest for my viewers, is to buy sealed locally. Not your card store. Please don't buy it from your card store. Look on Instagram. Look on Facebook. Please do your due diligence. Make sure they are reputable before you buy from them. I don't want any of you guys to get scammed or anything. But right now, on January, what is the day? January 11th, 2024, it's not worth it to buy sealed booster boxes from Japan unless you're getting MSRP. Difference. Unless you're putting in a lottery in the Pokemon Center online in Japan, or from the Rakuten books that is doing the reprint or whatever, just recently announced. If you're doing that, that is the best value proposition. Buying directly from the Pokemon Center Japan, that's different. This is, if you're buying secondary, it's not worth it to buy it in Japan. It is not. And I'm ceasing, and I'm even ceasing to really buy raw cards in Japan. There's only a few sealed raw cards that I would buy from Japan, because again, they are a little bit more abundant over there, that I can get them a pretty good deal over there versus in the United States. But at the end of the day, a general sense, it's just not worth it. So that's my thoughts on tonight, I guess. But let me know if you've had any bad experiences or good experiences buying from a middleman service, i.e. Tenso from Japan. I personally use from Japan. I love their packing. Their packing is phenomenal, making sure none of your items are damaged or anything. And I'm definitely not sponsored by them. I've given them so much money, it's crazy. I have a whole spreadsheet of how much money I've spent with them. I think I'm on like 30 shipments now that I've bought, accumulated stuff over there, shipped over here about 30 times over the past 3 years. So really nice. But that's all my thoughts today. Let me know your comments and your feelings or whatever down below in the comments. I will definitely reply to you, good or bad. So anyway, check out my Instagram, eBay, all the stuff. Communicate to me. Go on E4 Elite Forum. It's a great website. It'll be down in the description. If you want to booster up your knowledge base on Pokemon and collectibles in general. So that's all I got. I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks you for watching. See ya.